offer the best grooming colors for you. That's all natural and handcrafted too. We wanna help be a swagger, your style, class, and luxury. Make our products that are made for you with high quality, yeah. So get in style with the black, yeah. Company, give you swagger, style, class, and luxury, yeah. Black, gentleman, black, yeah. Company, give you swagger, style, class, and luxury, yeah.
Located at www.theblackgent.com.
Yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to Answering the Bell with Stormybman, our Sunday morning call-in for this Sunday, May 5th, 2024. This is the call-in in the numeral group of 118 of those joints. Yeah, we're moving right along. Glad to be here with you. Hope that you woke up in your right frame of mind this morning and that you were anointed to be amongst the living. Didn't do a post-fight show last night because I was supposed to do a collab with the General, and the General decided to go out and enjoy the nightlife after I had already let everyone know I was going to be doing the post-fight joint with him. So I got to get you, General. I got to cut you, because, see, you don't do that to Stormy B, man, because Stormy B, man, is a businessman. So while you was out there doing those kind of things, I listened to a couple of the brothers, and I went on to sleep. And thought I'd come out this morning and during this morning's Answering the Bell, talk a little bit about my thoughts on the post-fight. And I want to say salute to the brothers from the community who allowed me to partake with them in their backstage entertainment for last night's events. It's very nice to be amongst family and be able to laugh and just kind of enjoy one another. Things went kind of like I thought they would when it comes down to this particular fight. Don't be surprised if they don't talk about numbers. Box office pay-per-view. Because they could sell it to you, but they could never convince me that the combatants that took place in last night's events are clearly what the masses want to see. No. In no way, shape, form, or fashion. However, when you bring two fighters together and they come from a Mexican background, you can expect there to be a fight. Last night was no different. We saw a fight. We saw an old guard taking on a new school opponent. contrasting styles, contrasting age and experience. But something very familiar that we just can't get beyond was a part of this as well. Boxing judges. Yeah. When will we be able to get over this situation? The Nevada Athletic Commission, someone needs to take some C4 to that entire operation. I don't like it. I don't like it. Steve Weisfeld, David Sutherland, and Tim Cheatham Vegas regulars in destroying judging in boxing. These three culprits' names have been involved far too often in the sport of boxing, tainting the sport of boxing. When fighters perform, and they do not award fighters for the efforts that are put out. It's happening far too much. Are you not tired of this? Are you not ready for change? I am. The WBO, the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF world titles of the super middleweight division were on the line last night. In other words, undisputed. But if I'm not mistaken, Canelo Alvarez, who entered this bout with these titles, he doesn't have the Ring Magazine belt. Oh, I wonder, is that due to he and Oscar having a broken relationship? Just thought about that just now. But anyway, Munguia was down in the fourth round and got up. Took him a couple of rounds to get himself together, but he went right back to boxing the way he had opened the fight. Tim Cheatham scored this bout 117 to 110. David Sutherland, no better, saw it 116 to 111. Steve Weisfeld had a bit closer with a more respectable but not respectful 115 to 112. There's always one judge Now, we do focus on the ones who have these wide, divided scorecards. But there's always that one judge who kind of keeps it close. They should be targeted as well. I'm not an official boxing judge, but I had that fight scored 9 rounds Munguia to 3 rounds Canelo, including Canelo's knockdown of Munguia. Munguia fought better in the later portion of the fight, was bouncing on his toes and throwing combinations, letting his hands go Jermell Charlo. Bars. My scoring was not against Canelo. My scoring was after witnessing the dead spells of Canelo's activity. Yes, he would launch some power shots at Munguia, trying hard to hit him hard on the arms, trying to dig to the body, trying to counter with solid shots, but no combinations. The 1-2 seemed to be his favorite thing outside of pounding Jaime's arms. And in the meantime, Munguia was running numbers. Amazingly, no punch stats were shown for the fight. Ooh. Yeah. Amazingly. Anyway, let me step out here into the chat to see who has decided to come in with us this morning. Jimmy Bernard, my brother, is out there early saying, "What's good, Sensei?" Several times over. What's good with you, Jimmy Bernard? Copper Aborigines. I'm tongue-tied this morning. Sorry about that. Copper Aborigines says, "Good morning, Stormy B-Man and the chat. Let's hear the sermon of fight last night." And he'll be back because he has to run to the store. Mr. Shelton's out there saying, "Cleaning up and listening." You don't fool me, Mr. Shelton. You ain't cleaning up nothing, huh? Except for that plate, huh? With them pork sausages that you're having this morning. I know. Swine, my brother. Drew Titan, LLC, is in the gym listening. Man, put them weights down, brother. Put them down, huh? Put them weights down. Get you a cheeseburger this Sunday afternoon. Not this morning. Wait for lunchtime. No vegan burgers either, Drew. I want the greasy one, huh? Like they have at Wendy's, huh? You'll thank me later. Jimmy Bernard saying, "What's good, Drew?" Ravens Nation is in the building saying, "Salute everyone." Respectfully coming in, greeting everyone is a good thing. Good to see you, Ravens. My brother Trick Noty is in the building saying, "Salute this morning, Stormy B-Man. What's happening with you?" Learn is back with us saying, "Good morning, Stormy," and salute to the chat. T-Berry is back with us saying, "Peace, Stormy," and chat with the Bruce Lee Enter the Dragon emojis. Yeah. Learn says, "That was a good fight. Exciting." Learn, did you think that Jaime lost that fight last night? B-Mac is out there saying, "Salute, Stormy B-Man." Right back at you. My brother Kano Local Sports just popped into the building saying salute to all. NBA D Nice is in the building saying family. Mr. Magnificent is out there saying Stormybman salute, and salute to the chat. Yes. We're seeing a lot of bad decisions come from these judges, you guys. And don't think that I'm just going to go on some kind of tirade about that. No. Because screaming and hollering about it and everything is not necessarily going to promote a change. But encouraging you all to start using your authoritative power of hitting these sanctioning bodies up, demanding that we now have officials to come out and explain themselves. Referees should be held to the side to explain their officiating during a bout. See, because once someone can do what they do and just walk away, whether it's something solid or if it's questionable or unethical, it's always great to hold one accountable and make them explain what they saw that made them act the way that they acted. That's very important. I don't know if you realize the power that you have when you, in this time, can do these things. Emails, platforms with podcasts. Some of us, we do our job, but you all don't always do yours, because we ask you often, share the content, put it out there, because when you're sharing it, because everybody doesn't have the same social media, but even when you do and you're sharing the same thing, it tweaks the algorithm. And those concerns can be placed to the top, calling attention to the subject. And then the acknowledgement of it, and then the understanding that, hey, these people are not set, this is not setting well. We're going to have to make some changes. But if you just sit pat and mean mug in my chat and make little disparaging remarks about me, nothing's going to happen. But you got to understand how it works and what is required of you. It's the least that you can do. The least. Know that. Pete Davenport is here, says, peace, my brother. And I know Drew Titan is your good friend. Now you got another. I'm in the building. Appreciate you, Pete, stopping in. Make certain that you lock it in. Huh? Lock it in. Trick Noty says, That referee, he hardly injected himself into the fight. He let the fighters fight. Just with the low blows I felt were borderline. I felt that Canelo was pulling an Usyk, but he did a good job in my opinion. The few times that he did interject himself, Trick and Chat, almost came across as if he were doing it because he didn't have much to do. Still bad, because Jaime is not a dirty fighter, and Canelo wears his waistband high over the navel, as does Jaime. Most of the Mexican fighters do. It's the way that their trunks are typically designed. Wide waistbands for these fighters. It's just that Jaime he's a taller guy and a longer body, torso, similar to like Mario Barrios. But no real low blows, nothing. But it's something to pay attention to, the referee's behavior. Tom Taylor, whatever. Sit your butt down somewhere. Pete Davenport, my Cash App is $Stormybman 66. $Stormybman 66. It's actually the slow scroll at the bottom of the screen there. But I know on some devices, depending on what you're looking at, it may be very small, that you can't see it. So, but also down there are the links for the PayPal and the Patreon for Stormybman. Yeah. Cali Enigma just popped into the building. What's happening with you, Cali? He says Canelo is past it. Definitely an antique, huh? And the knees are ancient. Yeah. Don't you know that about him? His knees be ancient. Not even WD-40, huh, can do anything for that brother's knees, huh? Canelo is like, did you see him not sitting down, y'all? I'm gonna tell you something about that not sitting down. George Foreman was 40 plus, and he wouldn't sit down. Because George said, if I sat down, I might not get up. Now, what do you think that Canelo, in all of his 6,500 bouts, huh, since he was 16, huh, what do you think it would mean for him to sit down? I don't know, rigor mortis setting in? This is why I'm laughing. Jaime was bouncing in rounds 10, 11, and 12. Bouncing, throwing shots. Boom, 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 boom. Canelo was like, oh. Man, if you don't get all the way the hell up out of here with this. Why are they giving this guy fights, man? You already gave him the bag, huh? But you're giving him the bouts too? A knockdown don't win the fight. If that's the damn case, when he knocked Jaime down and they counted and he got up, when the bell rang for the round, they said that's it, Canelo wins. What the hell is going on in boxing, man? Nah. Learn says, I picked Munguia to win. I thought Munguia came out well, 1 through 4, fighting long with the jab. After that, Munguia fought his usual fight, applying the pressure. I wasn't upset about it. Learn also saying he caught Canelo with some good shots, firing short on the inside. I was hoping for a draw, or Munguia edged it, but fighting Canelo on the card is hard. Of course it is, man. We saw them give one of the judges, when Floyd beat him, called it a draw, and Floyd won every damn round. There are just certain fighters that they are going to do this with. But ask, where was Punch Stacks? And then you'll know, you'll have your answer right there. Yeah, Learn, you said CompuBox had Canelo throwing 536 and Munguia throwing 664. To me, Canelo didn't throw that much. The CompuBox had Canelo landed more as well. Well, you know they're going to tweak that. You know they're going to tweak that. But if you're throwing less than Munguia, and Munguia's throwing more, how are you landing more? Against the younger, fresher fighter. I'm telling you, they think that people are stupid. And some of you behave stupidly. And some of the content creators out here behave stupidly because they co-sign to this foolishness and be like talking up this guy. He's a boxing legend. No, he's not. They give this guy all types of provisions. And why is he fighting all these men that are not super middleweights? Answer me that. Anyone? Peanut Gallery? Yeah. Crickets. Not only block that character, man, report him. Report him. When you block them, report them, because we want that to be documented through the YouTube. They're going after these kind of people now, so we will assist in the arrest, huh? Yes. Perp walk. You think you can come around here and throw stones, huh? You really do, huh? You think you can come around here and throw stones? And the rest of us are locked and loaded?
She.
Yeah. Eric J is out there, says, I've been listening while I was driving, but just now able to say salute Stormy in the chat. What's good with you, man? Main Event Mark is in the building saying, got the sensei on in the car. What's happening with you, brother? Jimmy Bernard says, Sensei, I always thought that if a fighter doesn't sit down, it was a message to the other fighter. I am not tired. I don't need no rest. Listen, if you're smart, you take all the rest that you can. Huh? You're supposed to do it in your training, and you're supposed to do it in the fight. But remember, different people have different philosophies. But you have to know what works for you best. I remember I was at work recently. We have this young man working with us, new young man. He was about to carry a couple of heavy items and deliver them. We had a wheel cart right there. I said, hey man, why don't you put that on the wheel cart? He's like, no, I like the, I like it. It's heavy. It's giving me a workout or whatever. I said, oh, okay. Cool. Use all the muscles but the man. That's good. That's good stuff. See, the old folks will tell you an adage that says work smart, not hard. But I digress. Because you can't teach everybody because everybody ain't willing. I want to say something about thinking that this was a draw. You need to learn how to be decisive in what you're looking at when you look at boxing and call yourself scoring boxing. You can like who you like, but watch the action. Don't just watch who you're watching. Because if you're only watching one guy, your guy, or the guy that you don't like, you're going to miss detail. And sometimes if you scored a round one way and it could have went another way, that's okay. To error is human. But be decisive, be definitive. This is why these wide margin cards, or the ones that are real close, are questionable. Who are you trying to please? Canelo? Canelo is a man of generational wealth. There's nothing you could do to please him. He's already been paid. Munguia, he definitely is not of the status that Canelo is. So would it not mean something if he got that opportunity and snatched it while it was there? Don't get drawn into that draw crap. Sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. It's very rare when you tie. Salute to J-Mar out there in that Cash App. Coming in heavy there. Appreciate you, J-Mar. The Cash App donation. Thank you so much, brother. Checking these messages coming in. So we're in the thick of it now. And before we go too much further, I'd like to wanted to put the call-in number up for you guys. Let's talk about this a little bit. You know, my opening monologue run a little bit long because there was some questionable stuff there last night. But I would like to talk to you guys. Copper says, what I miss, I had to run to the store. Y'all brothers know when duty calls of the boss, she says she needs. I thought I was retired, but I sure don't feel like it. Oh no, you never retired, bro. You never retired, huh? You might as well just eliminate that word out of your vocabulary. Copper says, the fight last night to me was a close fight. I thought Canelo was going to knock him out, but that didn't happen. A knockdown happened, but I gave the fight to Munguia on points. How he lost, I don't see it. See? Now that's a gentleman that's being very honest and succinct with the situation. Just because he got dropped didn't mean he lost the fight. Right? KP from KC is in the building. What's good with you, brother? I see you out there. Says salute, OG. He says closer fight than the scores. Canelo will be safeguarded better than Fort Knox until he leaves the game. Boxing is ish now. Absolutely. Absolutely, bro. Couldn't have said it better. I hope they don't try to pay this guy that amount of money there, Copper. I hope they don't do that because it's an injustice to all these other fighters who have worked and toiled hard through their careers with aspirations of becoming a world champion. And this man is sitting on titles and not fighting anybody who has worked for the right. They're making fighters go to other divisions instead of making him fight them. And then they're awarding him astronomical paydays for fighting guys that you don't want to see him fight. The world has lost its equilibrium. Wrong is right, and right is wrong. Down is up, and sideways is straight ahead. Foolishness. Healer the teacher is in the building. What's good with you, Healer? Good to see you, bro. Main Event Mark says, Sensei, who would you like to see Munguia take on next? He should be fighting the likes of Berlanga and those kind of guys. Canelo should be fighting those #1 contenders, Morrell, Benavidez, Mbili, and those guys. Those are his super middleweight contenders right there. He shouldn't be fighting these young, inexperienced fighters who haven't fought fights to advance them to a new level. What fighter outside of Deverenchenko had Jaime fought? And many people felt he lost the fight to Deverenchenko. And you know why? Because Deverenchenko would have been a hell of a greater threat to Canelo than Jaime. Deverenchenko has been screwed over several times against top name fighters. Jaime Munguia, Triple G. There was one other fight that he was in that he was, and he fought Maul Charlo when Maul was still okay. And that was a tough fight for Maul, but Maul won it. What's really a shame is this. See, I don't just focus on what Canelo is not doing. I focus on the opportunities that other fighters who have earned their keep, what they're not receiving. David Benavidez fought Caleb Plant and Demetrius Andrade. He also fought Darrell. He's earned his keep. Morrell, not so much. Morrell should have been fighting someone like Caleb Plant or, one of the other Carlos Gongora, those guys. But he's not. Okay, we got 267 in the building. Who's calling? What's on your mind? Welcome to the show.
How you doing, Stormybman? This is B-Mac.
B-Mac, what's happening with you, brother? Good to hear from you this morning.
Hey, I only watched 3 rounds of the fight, and the fight started watching me, man. I can't fall asleep, man. I tried. But McGee was doing good. What I see, he was on his toes. I was like, oh, this is new McGee.
Yeah, he fought.
He was boxing.
He fought like a younger, fresher fighter should fight. And he got dropped as a result of being a little greedy on the inside, but he adjusted to that, and it never happened again.
Okay. Yeah. Have you ever seen a fighter more protected than Canelo Alvarez? I mean, he's more protected than De La Hoya, Ray Leonard, Triple G. I haven't seen a fighter so protected and coveted like him.
Well, tell you something about this, and some people may not like me saying it, but they say what they want to say, don't they? So I might as well say what I want to say. If you know where Canelo is from, there may be some kind of backing behind him that helps with money laundering.
I was thinking that.
Yeah, not enough people think properly.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but that's what I was thinking. People say I'm always thinking something like that.
Hey. Because you wouldn't guess, right? They never talk about his box office numbers. Never, ever, ever.
Never.
But they'll tell you what he signed to PBC for, what he signed to DAZN for in a multiple fight deal, 3-fight deal, 2-fight deal, whatever. And it's like always some kind of astronomical figure, right? It's like, really? What has he done to earn that? And where are they making their money back on that?
Yeah, because their pay-per-view numbers, I don't think his pay-per-view numbers are great.
They'll never be great. He hasn't fought anybody to make them great. That's the point. If he was fighting Benavidez last night, that place would have been sold out. The damn pay-per-view sales would be through the roof because that's a fight that people want to see. You cannot allow them to continue to pee on your head and tell you that that's lemonade. Copper Aborigines out there in the chat says the fix was in last night. Canelo won 4 or 5 rounds last night. That's it. No! I scored 3 rounds for Canelo last night and 9 rounds for Munguia. And I don't care for either one of the guys. So if I could give Munguia 9 rounds, and mind you, that's not voting against Canelo. That's me scoring the fight with not an interest in the bout as far as who I'm supporting. That means that I'm looking at the action that's transpiring. You got an old dude that got old wheels. He can't move around, can't get out of the way. He ain't got no choice but to load up on every shot. And then you got a younger guy who really ain't fought at this level before, but he's learning on the job. And guess what? He got caught with a shot, got dropped, took him a couple of rounds to get his stuff together again, and he went right back to doing what made him win the first 3 rounds. So you give him 3 in the beginning, and you give him 6 toward the end. Isn't that 9?
Yeah.
And Canelo
but
gets
the 3
2
rounds
points.
I've seen, he was winning.
And Canelo gets 2 points for a knockdown. So that's 2 rounds. And then he won one round. So it's like, come on. There's your scorecard right there. Tim Cheatham, 117 to 110. What fight was he watching?
Well, he's like his name, Cheatham.
Yeah. So listen, man. There's a reason for the effery out here. You know, it's like, but again, I don't have to dwell on that, but that's what I think. They can prove me wrong, but it's been going on for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's boxing.
You know, when Sugar Ray Robinson was fighting, the mob came at him. And Sugar Ray, who had I guess you could say he had a rapport with people. He was a respected guy, you know, and Sugar Ray was like, he lived in the community amongst his people. He had his own business there, real estate investments and stuff. And when they came to him, and he was like, hey, man, you know, thank you, but no thank you. You know, I don't want no parts of this or that. And they kind of backed off and they let him do his thing. I'm not going to say they do that for everybody. But he had more going being outside of that than being involved in it. But you got some who will go along with it because of the so-called protective shield that allows them the luxuries or affords them the luxuries of life and advantages that other people could never dream of. But at what cost? At what cost?
Yeah. I mean, Canelo need to get out of the sport, man. He's holding up the sport.
Well, the thing is, how much longer can you make other people in the division? Like, he turned pro when he was 16. They like to tell us that. But there are other fighters fighting professionally in that weight class who have risen to a point of contention and consideration now, but there is no consideration for them to have a shot at the world title because he's holding the title. Is that fair?
No, it's not.
And then he selects people that is not even in his weight class. Sometimes a weight class below, or sometimes a couple of weight classes below. Wasn't Jamal Jamel, a couple of weight classes below.
Yep.
Munguia recently moved up to super middleweight, but not because he was a growing boy and needed, because they were setting this up.
Yeah, it wasn't on his
But
terms.
he barely got past Derevyanchenko. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Now.
Yeah, people are watching.
Yeah. But if you look at that middleweight division, man, there are some bangers there, bro. There's some real tough fighters in the middleweight division. And these guys, super middleweight division. And they're not getting their opportunities. It's bad. Because all you want to see is quality fights. That doesn't mean that whomever holds a title has to fight killer after killer after killer. But if you're fighting consistently guys who are no threat to your position, come on.
Yeah.
You know?
You're not even fighting your contemporaries, yeah.
You know those Marvel films, right? It's like the Avengers. Well, when the Avengers are kicking robots and aliens' butts, right? It's like, okay, you get tired of that. Now let's see somebody else, huh? Then here comes Ultron. Ultron comes in and makes them start fighting each other and everything. It's like, that's kind of different, right? And then it's like, okay, what do you do for an encore? Here comes Thanos. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, but at least they took you through changes, right? It's like it wasn't just the Avengers is just kicking everybody's butt, right? Like, yeah, they got their own song coming out and everything. We're the Avengers,
I know we getting off topic, but I didn't like what they did to the Avengers with Hulk. I hated that because I'm a big Hulk fan.
The Hulk?
The Incredible Hulk with Thanos?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know that.
I'm getting off topic, but in the comic book, I was a big Hulk comic book guy. And
dude,
Thanos never...
You're not the only one. There's a swell of Hulk supporters that let Marvel have it over that. And the only thing that the Russos could say, the reason that they did that was Hulk is so OP, they didn't know what to do with it. That's lazy.
Oh, Thanos is more OP than Hulk. Come on.
No, but see the writing. They didn't write. They didn't hunker down on. Listen, in the comics, Thanos is afraid of the Hulk.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to say. He never confronted him, and he never could get in his mind.
Right, because the Hulk, when he gets in these rages, his strength
he gets stronger.
His strength increases.
Yeah.
Listen.
And that was a good way to bring in World Breaker Hulk.
But see, that's what I had said. See, Drew Titan.
Instead of World Breaker Thor coming in with the hammer, it should have been Hulk coming.
No, that was a good scene. But listen.
It was.
Drew Titan and I, we do Nerds on Culture. We talked about that.
Yeah, I listened.
We said that instead of bringing Captain Marvel into the Avengers film, there was no need for her. She could have started after the Avengers finished up what they were doing. She really was of no consequence in the way that she appeared.
True.
So, what they could have done was once the Doctor Strange, he had started bringing everybody back through the portals, right? And they went to war. It was the Avengers and everybody against Thanos and his army, and Thanos' army was still coming out on top, right? They could have had that moment where, let's just say, someone lost their life or something, and Banner hulks out and becomes the Hulk that we know is a raging Hulk. Then he go after Thanos. The hero that's always been beaten down or whatever is always supposed to have his comeback.
Yeah.
Hulk didn't get his.
No, they made him a punk.
And one example I gave of that was Superman 2. Do you remember when Superman lost his powers?
Yeah.
And that trucker beat Clark up in the diner? Remember that?
He came back. He came back.
He came back.
Everybody looked at him like, what the hell happened to you? I said, I've been working out in the gym.
But you know what? Let me tell you something. I don't know how old you are, but I saw that movie in the theater when it first came out, right? The audience
I seen it on replay.
The audience totally, cheered for Clark when he came back to that diner and beat that guy with his superpowers. It's just something that we expect. The good guy to come out on top, right? That's our culture. It's not in everybody's culture that the good guy wins. But in our culture, it is. So it's like, he got his get back and everybody was happy. You have to do that. They failed tremendously.
Yeah, they
when
failed
they didn't let
miserably.
Hulk get his get back.
Then they had Hulk scared. Hulk never been scared of anything. I'd rather them Hulk get the hell beat out of him than being scared. Man, Hulk scared. Banner, no. Hulk never said no. When he felt threatened or hurt or ready to die, that's when he comes out.
Do you remember the scene? And to your saying, you remember what Hulk did to Loki in the first Avengers film, right?
Yeah, he smacked him all around.
Dude, the audience cheered so much and laughed so hard on that, you couldn't even hear when Hulk was walking away, he said, "Puny God." You couldn't even hear that line of dialogue because the audience was still roaring with laughter. However,
and they ruined them.
Wait a minute. Wait. Slow down, because I'm taking you on a journey here. Now, if you saw Thor Ragnarok, when they had Thor getting ready to fight Hulk in the arena, right? And Thor, Hulk come busting out of the wall, and he was like, ah. When you saw Loki sitting up in the stands and he saw the Hulk, he almost shit himself.
He was like, he started ducking. Yeah, he was like, oh.
He was like, I gotta get out of here. It was hilarious because why you thinking about that? And it's so funny because you remember what Hulk did to him in the first Avengers film. I
had that comic book with Thor and Hulk fought, and that was one of the classic fight scenes, and I lost it, man, all through damage, man, through water damage. And Thor was giving it to Hulk in the comic book, and Hulk grabbed the lady and said, look, if you don't throw your hammer away, I'm going to throw her. So Thor threw his hammer like miles and miles and miles away. And as soon as he threw it, Hulk punched him right in the face. And Hulk trashed Thor. I mean, real bad. I mean, he was beating so bad where a train was coming and he beating down into a cradle or hole, and the train tried to stop. Hulk took the train and threw on top of Thor, and it blew up. Right? And then after the comic book was over towards the end, his hammer, always comes back to him. So Thor's a beaten, bloody pulp, and the hammer comes right into his hand. And Hulk said, nah, I quit. That's all I need. And walked away. That's Hulk. Not scared.
See, that's, you got the hero got to get his get back. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And Hulk is like basically, he's technically not a good guy, but he fights on the good side, but he's just his own.
Well, and to bring it full circle with what we're talking about, Canelo is getting these decisions and these close fights, and he's not looking good and everything, but that's against guys that he goes into these bouts, he's favored to beat these guys.
Yeah.
When is the last time Canelo entered a fight where it was thought of as being 50-50?
Man, you're going back. You're going back to his 154 days.
No, maybe you could say the first fight with Triple G, the first fight, because
there you go.
You didn't know that what would happen there.
That's true.
It's like that.
Yeah,
that was a
Triple
50,
G.
But think about how many years ago that was. How many years ago was that he fought Triple G? I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the first time. I'm not talking about the rematch or the third fight.
Yeah.
The first time.
Yeah, the first time. It was a 50-50, yeah. Yeah,
And
but he didn't take that fight. They made him
fight
take that
wasn't
fight.
even made when it was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
There was still a few years that went that they didn't see each other, that they were supposed to see each other. And see, that's how long Canelo has been getting away with this BS, bro. And it has to stop. It has to stop. But you know
He's
what?
not going to
The
stop.
only
He got to
ones
leave
that
for
can
it to
stop
stop.
it is the people. The people can stop it. When they
Well,
decide that they don't want to see him or whatever, because people are not going to support what they don't want to support. They're not.
Well, he has his fan base, and they support him. So they allow him to do it.
Even his fan base are now looking at him sideways. They're not looking at him like he's some great competitor or whatever. They're not.
Yeah.
This guy, he leaves a lot to be desired, man. Is he a decent fighter? Yes, he's a decent fighter.
Yes.
Is he a great fighter? No, he's not a great fighter. Great fighters.
You think he's a Hall of Famer? Is he
Well,
a
they're
Hall
going to
of
put him
Famer,
in the
you
Hall
think?
of Fame. They're going to put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
but see,
but
great
do you
fighters,
think so?
listen, great fighters are deemed great for the trials they go through, the circumstances that they have to overcome, when they've done something that changed the trajectory in a fight and things of that. That's where greatness comes. You're not great just because you're beating a bunch of guys that you may be favored to defeat anyway. That's not what connotates greatness. He fought Gennady Golovkin. I'm looking on BoxRec right now. He fought Gennady Golovkin first in September of 2017. Dude, that's almost 20 years ago. I mean, not 20 years ago, 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, he's just a disgrace for the sport. You know, I'm not excited when he has a fight coming up. Because, you know, Munguia, I knew it was going to be action-packed, but I knew Munguia wasn't on his level. But Munguia put up a good fight the 3 rounds I've seen. So I haven't really been following Munguia. I always looked at him as a blood and guts fighter. And he got a little better than what I've seen. You know, I really haven't been watching him. But you gotta see. I don't want to hold you up from your callers, Mr. Stormybman. So
Yeah,
I guess
man.
I'll fall back and start listening.
Yeah, I appreciate your call, bro. You know, you're always welcome to call in here. We always have a good chop up when you do. But yeah, that's, you know, like I said, I had Munguia winning 9 rounds to 3, man. And I say that with confidence because of what I was looking at. But you know, some people give Canelo a couple more rounds. That's fine. But he didn't win the fight, in my mind. He didn't win the fight.
Yeah.
And I want to, for all of you guys out there that you heard, like, one of the Canelo's excuses for not fighting Benavidez, he said, you know, he's been disrespectful. His dad has been disrespectful and this and that. Jaime Munguia was ultra respectful to him, almost to the point that I was concerned. I'm like, man, he's showing too much respect and everything. I even talked to the brothers behind the scenes, and I was saying, that's all fine unless it's something else that he plans to, you know, fight his ass off against Canelo, and he's just doing that until the bell rings. You know, and kind of it went that way. When the bell rang, he treated Canelo like a regular opponent. He was trying to win the fight. And I like that. But what I wanted to say is, all you guys out there, when Canelo's talking about you got to be respectful and this and that, no, you don't. Because even in the respect, where was the respect for Jaime Munguia and his performance by the judges?
Yeah.
You got to go in there and take the title from the champion. And stop giving him a means of a way out and everything. Start going in there, backing that sucker up, and going for the gusto. That's what you got to do. Forget all this other foolishness, man. But yeah.
De La Hoya told him off, too, in the press conference.
Yeah. But,
De La Hoya.
But it is what it is, you know. But, yeah, thank you, B-Mac, for calling in, man. hope you call in again soon, and you take care, bro. Appreciate you.
All right. Appreciate you, man. Thanks.
All right. Peace. Salute to the brother Eric Jordan out there with that super sticker, man. I appreciate you, Eric Jordan. We were cooking there, so I do want to acknowledge your super sticker donation to the channel. Thank you for that. Yeah. So, well, here we are. TD Sports Talk is out there. What's going on with you? I see you out there. Copper Aborigine says, I don't think Munguia handles Plant's hand speed. With that, will Munguia be able to beat on Plant's body to gas him out? It's a good fight, man. There's two guys that should fight each other. That's a good fight. Why not? Why not? It's better than two guys avoiding, Yeah. So the phone line's still open. Somebody else want to call in and chop it up about last night's fight or whatever? Let's hear what you got to say. I'll turn my boogie woogie back on till we get us another call. Rich Richardson is in the building. What's good with you? Says good morning, Stormy. Canelo's still on that juice. Of course he is. He never stopped being on it. Especially when the WBC said that they would raise levels of that reading of that stuff. They didn't even tell you how high or what percentage. The dude comes in ox strong because they let him get away with whatever. Didn't he tell you he Mexican and he could do what he want to do? When a person start talking like that, you believe that they got something behind them. Because guys who don't have anything behind them aren't smart to talk like that. Unless you're someone like Ali and it comes genuinely from your character of who you are as a person. Where was Canelo's bravado and talking like that when he was fighting the likes of Lara and guys like that, Cotto? He didn't talk with that type of brazenness. But something has happened. Remember, when he started playing golf, who rubs elbows with you when you play golf? There are a lot of different types of sorts out there. People who make decisions for the world, huh? Man, please, there's so much you guys listen. And they out here watching me right now. They look at that guy, huh? They watching. Sitting out there looking at me. This is them right there looking at me right now. Yeah. Yeah, Thomas, that's them looking at me right now, huh? That's them looking at me right now. I'm out here, I'm talking, and it's like, see, what I say makes sense, but I ain't talking like a fanboy, huh? Or something like that. I'm telling it like it is, huh? But my only question to them is they can look like that at me all they want to or whatever, huh? But what I have to ask them is this.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
And then they send those other content creators that they done paid and bought off and everything, sellouts, huh? They sitting up there right there like this, you guys. Yeah, huh? The shitty cuz hate glare. Mm-hmm. Brown on boxing, been a long time. Where you been? Jimmy Bernard, you like that, don't you? Boy, I tell you. Give me a second. Give me a second, guys. Okay, I'm right back now, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, man. Listen. Jimmy Bernard wants to see that certain clip. That's okay, Jimmy Bernard, because you know I have it queued up, man. Here you go. If you Jimmy Bernard, if you're still there, this is for you. For them trolls, huh? That's what you call changing a sucker's perspective, huh? You think he got a new outlook on life? Yeah. See, that's what we do around here, huh? We can make you laugh, huh? We can make you cry. Salute to my brother, Boxing and Barbecue. He says, afternoon, Stormy. Afternoon to you, brother. Yeah. Yeah, Boxing and Barbecue, change a sucker's perspective. You don't see eye to eye anymore? Yeah, man. Man. Boy, you put that on and Drew Titan totally loses it when he see that scene. Cause it's forever funny, man. Oh my goodness. There ain't nothing like having a good hearty laugh, man. Yeah, but the line's open, man. Come on, call in and let's talk about this, man. Let's talk about it. Thomas, call in, bro. I don't think you've ever called in. Yeah. Copper says Canelo is used as the face of boxing, and a lot of people have bought into this foolishness and nonsense. These people will continue to make excuses for Canelo, saying he's worth 200 million. No fighter's worth 200 million. No fighter. No fighter is worth 200 million. If any of these fighters is worth 200 million, dude, I'm worth 1 million. Yeah. Yeah. And it ain't for fighting. It's for dishing and administering knowledge. And Boxing and Barbecue says, I'm going to use. Man, don't make me change your perspective, sucker. Yeah, man. Yeah, as far as that TD Sports Talk, if you find yourself hiding somebody like that, report them as well. Yeah, see, we're building up a case against all of that. The trolling is coming to an end very soon, you guys. It's coming to an end very soon. Yeah. Nobody wants to talk about this too much, huh? Call in. You know, I almost have 200 some people looking at this, man. Only 53 likes. We got a lot of work to do. Oh, here we go. Daryl Alexander out here gifting memberships again. Oh, well, you guys are going to get ready to see something now. Salute to Daryl Alexander. That's my brother there. Yeah, yeah, Pete Davenport. I figured that as much. You know, I figured that as much. Thank you again. I'm just gonna let these notifications play out because Daryl Alexander sent these 10 member gift memberships. Hey, Daryl Alexander, I would like for you to hit my email, man. Daryl Alexander, I would like you to hit my email because I want to have a conversation with you. KG, what's good with you, bro? I see you out there. What's good, KG? Salute to my brother Eric Jordan out there for the purchase of some merchandise. He purchased one of the Stormybman black glossy mugs. That's what's up. Salute there, brother. I appreciate that. Eric Jordan. So nobody else wanted to call in, huh? You guys want to at least talk about this card that's coming up? The Ring of Fire. Coming up, I think that's the 18th of May. Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk will finally get it on for the undisputed heavyweight title. I don't care. Okay, we got 716 in the building. Who's calling? What's on your mind? Welcome to the show.
What's going on, Stormy? This is D Rich in the chat.
Hey,
Long
what's going
time
on?
listener.
Yeah, how you doing?
Nothing. I'm pretty good. Figure I'll call in on this Sunday morning, try to get things going a little bit. Stormy, I can't be the only person that's sick of watching these Canelo fights. Something gotta give.
Hey man, it's the biggest heist in town, bro.
Oh my gosh.
Biggest heist in town.
I mean, I don't know what people get so excited watching this dude. I mean, it's hard to watch a fight when you know the guy is on something. Like you said earlier, Stormy, he come in strong as an ox. You know, he keeping his power all the way, you know, to the very end. I mean, how can a guy who had those many fights, those many battles, come in and beat up on a 27-year-old like that? I mean,
well, he really didn't beat up on Jaime, to be perfectly honest with you.
that's true. That's true.
He really didn't beat up on him, but I understand what you're inquiring. You know, he does it because he has the help, just like Ryan had help a couple of weeks ago. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And the thing about it is, nobody wants to deal with the actuality of things as we see how things are playing out. It is okay to be able to undermine, disrespect the sport, and you know, take overwhelmingly advantage over others if you are who the establishment wants to be in place. It's okay. There's no ethics in it. There's like, they will bend the rules. They will forget the rules. They will even do away with the rules just to have what they want, because they can't get it or obtain it any other way. I did a video Friday morning. The premiere was titled, "They Cheat Us Because They Can't Defeat Us." You feel me?
Very true. Yeah, very true. I agree.
Yeah. Now, understand the subtlety and the direct poignantness of that title. They cheat us because they can't defeat us. That's self-explanatory right there.
Would you think that kind of goes hand in hand with, since they can't beat us on the field, they like to beat us off the field?
No, that means that the field is theirs to begin with. But any other entity participating, they have to do as much as they can to minimize how you can move and survive within that field. But anyone who knows anything about farming and planting crops and bringing forth good fruit and harvest knows that the land has to be tilled. Am I correct?
That's correct.
And when you're talking about tilling the land, what do?
You got to, you building a foundation. You got to clear the land so you can start building your foundation. You got to clear the land of all the garbage before you start.
That means what? Tilling the land. Cultivating land requires you to do what?
Clean it up.
You turn the soil over.
You
turn the soil over. You rip the soil a asunder. Yeah.
I agree.
Hold on. Before you agree, think about what I just said. See, it's easy to agree. But remember, when I asked you the question, you weren't necessarily able to give me that answer. And don't think that I'm trying to minimize your thought process or what you contributed. I'm actually trying to share and teach in this moment. Because what I'm saying means more than anything that you can scratch the surface of. Earlier, I put up my meme of Twist the Ninja's head back, where Ron Van Cleef from that martial art movie was turning that guy's head around. And we were laughing about it because I said, change a sucker's perspective. You see, when you're a farmer and you have to till your land, when you turn it over, then it is ready for you to begin to plant fresh seed. You can plant fresh life, greenery, trees. It's important to understand that because in our society, those who have been mining the land have been enjoying the fruits of our labors, but we haven't been able to enjoy the nourishment because everything that comes from the earth, the Creator put it here for all of us, not for just a few, not for a segregated perspective, and not for someone just from, a place of wealth or something like that. The air that you're breathing now, we all are breathing it. It's not just for you. It's for us.
For everybody, right?
But we still have people who are destroying our atmosphere. Where's the anger?
Right.
Where's the anger? Where's the coming together of a nation, of people who are being affected by this to stop the madness? Where is it? See, when you can understand things like this, looking at boxing and Canelo Alvarez and what they're doing with him, it's like knowing that 1 + 1 is 2. You understand? It's so simple. But there are people who don't have that simplicity because they're too distracted by things that don't mean much. But yet still, the influences will tell you that it does for you. That's why a man has to be able to think for himself. You've heard me speak about on here, if you've listened, I've talked about the people in the hundreds watching my content, but they won't participate in the chat. They won't hit the like button. But I go live and they right there. I'm constantly tilling the land here on this channel. And it's very important that people understand these things because it's not a game. It's not a game.
No, it's not. And it's something else I wanted to bring out. So, with that being said, if you are David Benavidez and you know that he has all these things on his side that's working for him against you, do you really want to take that fight? Or are you taking this fight because you really think you can beat this guy? or are you taking this fight because it's a big fight and it's a possibility I could beat him, but it's for the money as well? Like, where do you think David Benavidez' head is at, his team? Do they really think they could beat this guy? Do they really think that he has the goods to beat this guy? Because they know what they're up against.
To answer that simply, yes, I feel that they believe that they can beat him. To answer the question of are they doing it or they want it for the money, I don't think that's their primary option. I think that what's primary for them is David has achieved at that weight division and has had success. And since Canelo had been warranted as the best, he wants to compete with whom they're saying that is the best, come what may. However, it's began to look worse for Canelo because Canelo now seems more an opportunist than anything. The opportunity to have consideration and adornment and things of that nature without having necessarily really defeated the type of opposition that can warrant greatness. I spoke of that just a little earlier, even in this show, about what means greatness for fighters. You know, he doesn't have a lot of what that means, but they have told you that he does, and they have tried to they've tried to show him in a light that is. It's just like, even if you look at the scorecards from last night's fight, he did not win that fight to me, but if he did win the fight, it wasn't by the great margin that they said. It's almost like with him, everything is extra. But that's why a real fighter like a David Benavidez would want to fight someone, because they want to test that theory. They want to sample those waters and see, is it really what's being said? And that's what a fighter who wants to challenge themselves is supposed to have. Not looking in a different direction, not running from the house that's smoking, but running to the house that's smoking to put the fire out. There is a difference. And when you have men of conviction who can lead men who can be influenced in a proper direction, what you will build is an army of people who feel that they can do, not that they're supposed to have it given to them. You see, there's a difference. Because men who can be inspired, I want to be like you. I want to achieve that, because they seen you go through the mire and the muck and cultivate and win, because you put your neck on the line, because you put your back into it, because you rolled your sleeves up and got dirty. Not because you had silk pajamas on and Ray-Bans and everybody was patting you on your back and telling you how great you are. But every fight that you go into and everything, it's like you were favored on paper. On paper, you were favored. But there was no 50-50. There was no 60-40 not in your favor. There was no 70-30 where the odds are very tough for you. Buster Douglas was a 25-1 underdog against Mike Tyson.
Oh, wow.
He whooped Mike Tyson's ass. But you'll hear people say Mike Tyson is an all-time great. You'll hear people say Mike Tyson is a legend. You'll hear Mike Tyson say he's one of the best to ever do it. Well, answer me this one simple question. For a guy that was 25-1 and clearly whooped his ass, why didn't he ever run it back?
Tyson knew the same thing could possibly happen.
So
if he ran it back in it.
So is that one of the greats of all time? So is that one of the best to ever do it? So is that someone who is a legend? Because the last I checked, guys who persevere, who overcome, who beat the odds, those are the ones that can become noted as legendary. You see how people have switched things around to our understanding out here?
Yeah.
This is why you can't fool me with the foolishness that they speak. Because I don't see it that way. I had Jaime Munguia 9 rounds to 3 over Canelo last night.
Oh, that's how you scored 9-3?
Exactly. And the rounds were spread out. The rounds that I gave Canelo were the 4th. I'm looking at here. I wanted to make sure I put the score here. I had the 4th, the 5th, and the 7th for Canelo. And after the 7th, Jaime began to get back into the flow that he started the fight with. And I felt like he swept the 4th quarter of the fight. Now, that doesn't make me right. But I'm looking at their activity. I'm looking at their output. I'm looking at how they're competing. But no judge had Jaime competing as much as I did.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
But see, they weren't judging Jaime's performance. They were judging to ensure Canelo's
what? Yeah.
A win. Yeah. And that's, but see, if you understand that, then you understand why I say they got to go. They got to go. They are a part of something afoot that will constantly disrupt the sport of boxing, constantly disrupt someone's career. You got guys out here who deserve a title shot right now, who have deserved a title shot for the super middleweight title over these past 3 years. And they don't have it. They're not getting it. Why? Why are they being held to the side? Why is it mean that no matter what they've done to get to where they are, that their career can be held and railroaded because someone wants this guy right here to sit on top?
Because they're the real threats.
The threat in boxing is when you get between the ropes. It's no greater for you or the next guy. That's what the threat is. So come with a stronger answer.
Is it that they believe that the threat might be to
it's because, let me help you out, brother. I said it earlier in the show. It's because someone wants to move money.
Yeah.
And this guy has become the latest figurehead that they can do that behind. Laundering, crime. Isn't it criminal, the decisions that he's receiving?
That's an understatement.
There you go. Remember, I said it's about the perspective that you see from. That meme I played earlier with Ron Van Cleef turning that guy's head around like that, change the perspective. See, I do what I do for a reason. It's not this me just out here playing games. I don't play games. But I try to get people to think a little bit. Just a little bit. Because most people find it easy to not do so. But there's nothing wrong with allowing the mind to go to work. Nothing wrong with that. Because when you do that, you elevate.
Also, Stormy, do you think that his fight last night and Ryan Garcia fight had some similarities? Just from how they went. I mean, if you look at Canelo and outside of those knockdowns, same thing with Garcia. Devin Haney pretty much still won the fight, and I seem like Jaime Munguia did enough to, but like you said, he's going against the machine.
Well, see, with with Ryan Garcia, what we didn't know that we later found out, just like this week, news came out, but Haney was a champion who got dropped several times, but fought through the entire situation. He kept coming. He kept getting after it. That's a hard disposition to get a man to reflect. If it's either in you or it's not. When we saw, due to assistance and also what we now have come to know, substances, Tyson Fury rise against Deontay Wilder, all they talked about was his heart. All they talked about was his grit. All they talked about was he had the balls of brass.
The softest punching heavyweight of all time.
Now, but hold on. But this is how they spoke of him. Where was that kind of rhetoric for Devin Haney? Oh, you mean because his skin is dark? That he doesn't have the heart? That he's not brazen and have balls of bronze? That he is not one who enlists the spirit of the ancestors of conviction to keep it going, keep it moving? See, you can't pick and choose these things. It's either what it is or it ain't. And you can't fool me by just saying it properly for other people. The sport of boxing is all inclusive. There's a history of fights where men have displayed warrior-like spirit and efforts unbeknownst to man until those circumstances arose during the battle. And you credit he that perseveres through those circumstances, but you don't save the adulation just for someone's ethnicity or backdrop. No. If that were David Benavidez fighting Canelo Alvarez last night, he wouldn't have gone 6 rounds. Canelo. Demetrius Andrade, who is every bit about the size of Canelo, we know he's taller, but I'm talking about weight-wise and things of that nature. Much better fighter, boxer-wise. Benavidez, as soon as he turned it up on Boo-Boo, it was over. It was over. Jaime does not have yet the experience or the gear to turn anything up, and it was still a struggle for Canelo.
I seen it, yeah. I've seen it.
So to go back and ask your original question, answer your original question. Benavidez represents everything that a fighter like Canelo Alvarez has always wanted to elude in their career. He has the style. He has the size. He has the temperament. He has the skill set. He has the ability. He has the fortitude. No other fighter that Canelo has faced in his career has what Benavidez has. And you could see Jaime's hand speed last night, right? You could see it.
Jaime's a good fighter. I'll take nothing away from Jaime. He fought a good fight.
Right. But check this out. His hands aren't faster than David Benavidez's.
I don't think he hit as hard.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And what you just said, too. Uh-oh. Now you can see why Canelo don't want him.
And then on top of it, David, see, I'm 6'3". I don't know how tall David is. David looked like he a tall boy. So he got that length on him. So he could put that stick out there all night or keep Canelo at bay all night with that jab in his face.
But he won't do that. He's going to get right in Canelo's grill where Canelo likes his opponents to be and beat the shit out of him. And Canelo knows that. And Canelo has avoided that for the past 3 years. So when are people going to wake the hell up and stop padding this guy's record and giving him excuses and demand that either you give up the damn belts or you fight these guys? And I spoke about Benavidez, but the other David can do the same shit to him as well. M. Billy could possibly do the same shit to him because M. Billy is an in-your-face, keep-coming fighter himself. And he's younger, fresher, stronger.
Well, not only that, Stormy, I think it's a few guys out there. I mean, look what happened when he tried to move up there and try to go and fight Bivol. Bivol sent his ass right back down to his weight class. And Bivol was like,
as I mentioned to you about Tyson and Buster Douglas, Bivol was willing to rematch him and drop down.
Yes.
And drop down to super middleweight. And Canelo went somewhere else. He went AWOL for a while. He wouldn't even answer the journalists' questions, or he just disappeared. There was a rematch clause. There was a rematch clause. Why is nobody asking him, hey, Canelo, what happened with the rematch with Bivol? Why are they not asking him that? You took the words right out of my mouth.
You took them right out of my mouth. What happened to the rematch?
Yeah, exactly.
And not only that, I at least thought he was going to say, remember after, what fight was it? I think the Charlo fight. He said, you know, hey, I'm healthy now. And I haven't been this healthy in a long time, and blah blah blah. I thought he was going to say, I want the Bivol rematch. He went the Munguia route. How come you never ran it back with Bivol? And like you said, Bivol said he would come down to your weight, whatever makes you comfortable.
Right.
And you want to fight a Charlo now who's 1 foot in damn Bellevue.
Yep.
Now you want to go after these guys. What you trying to wait Benavidez out? It's almost like what they did to Wilder. They tried to wait Wilder out.
Yep.
They knew that he was too big. He's too strong. Listen, we tired of this guy being the face of boxing because I believe Wilder was becoming the face of boxing until they cheated him in that Fury fight and gave it to Canelo. Wilder was everybody. He still is everybody's favorite.
He was doing something else that was really. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to connect these dots. he was becoming a people's champion that was representing from a place that they really do not like. A Southern man who could kick ass. Not the strongest education. However, a man of conviction and a man who has shown that he could take care of his family, and he's vociferous about his own people and things of that nature. They don't want the black Messiah, brother. They don't want the black Messiah. That. And I'm going to tell you, the dot that I'm connecting, Bill Haney working with his son and what they're doing, it's the same thing. Because it's not so much that, oh, Bill talks too much and this and that. It's what they've done. They represent a different look for the black man out here in the world. You go out there and you can turn your life around if you've been living on the wrong side of the fence, and you can turn it around and you can be progressive and get to the right side where you can go happily down a path of success and prosperity. That's something for people to look up to. That's something for people to look forward to. And they take that away from you because they don't want you to have that. They don't want that for you, but you need to want it for yourself. But they can tell you about Jay-Z and Drake and all of those kind of folk, huh? And they, yeah, you're supposed to, first of all, celebrities are not supposed to be who aspire you to have a better life for yourself. Do you remember they used to say things in the classroom when you were a kid, like, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Of course.
And kids would say something like, I want to be a fireman. I want to be a policeman.
Yep.
I want to be an engineer. I want to be a doctor. There's nothing wrong with that, because in our society, these are the people that help keep a lineage of life and prosperity. This is not for entertainment. This is like your life. You're working. But that's all been displaced. I want to be a rapper. I want to be a stripper. I want to be a drug dealer. I want to be a slickster. I was like, wait a minute. When did that happen?
I could probably say late 90s, mid 90s, late 90s, when they started to take hip hop out of rap music, because a lot of people forget you had hip hop genre and you had rap genre. And the rap music back then wasn't as raunchy as it is now, and it wasn't so over the top. But they had to take the hip hop part out. That was the hip hop. I always like to say is the education that teaches the black youth that's coming up.
Did you know that music usually echoed life, and that people would sing about what they had feel for? My honey left me. I'm in love with my honey. Get you some honey. All of that kind of stuff. Now, the music that reflects life is all about almost death. Think about it.
Yeah.
And there's no prosperity in that. So if you got a guy like a Bill Haney coming along in the sport that we all profess to love, and he's assisted with his son having his own promotional company and group where he can also lead others, why is there such a swell against what he's doing? And it's one of the most positive things. Weren't people giving PBC boxing that type of consideration years ago because they made a couple of fighters a little extra wealthy? But did they do a good thing when they were doing that to those fighters? Because one of the things that all of those fighters have in common now are losses on their records, inactivity, and a lot of negative external issues when it comes to boxing. When I say external, things that have nothing to do with what happens in the ring, but their lives outside the ring. They all have different issues going on. Some worse than others. But because there was a man associated with that, Al Heyman, there was a thought process that, oh, this is a black thing.
Yep.
But let me tell you something. What he represented and having those men under him, he assisted in destroying a lot of what was there for them as well. But when you talk about Bill is operating from a position of independence, liberation. Yes, he has a gift of gab for 2024. That's okay. But if I'm not mistaken, we had a gentleman in the sport of boxing who had a gift of gab that is now a Hall of Fame person for promoting and putting on some of the greatest fights in the history of boxing. But they told you the entire time that he was doing what he was doing that he was bad for the sport and that they wished that they could get rid of him and this and that. But they never said that they thought that Bob Arum was bad for the sport and they wished that they could get rid of him.
Nope.
Why did they
want to get down on Don King?
But why did they want to get rid of him? They wanted to get rid of him because he was not they. Simple as that. So the only thing that has changed has been the calendar date. Am I correct or am I not?
Correct. That's don't like my saying is nothing changes like you said, but the day. Everything stays the same. And then they may come in they may repackage it and give it to you a different way to say it's different, but it's the same shit in that box.
So why the swell of hate for Bill by our own people? Why? Because we've been taught to do the job that the boss man put the wolves and the dogs on you to do. Consume one another. And even in me saying the things that I'm saying right now, as I said earlier in this stream, I said that they got people out there and they looking at the screens and they got a mean mug and they looking at you and they despising you. If you could look at your screen once again, ladies and gentlemen, you look at that screen and you see that image that I put up there, that's what they got toward me, toward you who support me, toward us who are trying to get from here to there. Huh? They want to tell you you're going nowhere. Huh? Not because they don't want to go, because they're representing something that's not even of themselves. They've been programmed to have the wrong, the improper way to think and have consideration. And there's a problem. I talked about tilling the land. That is all a part of it. Until people get to a place where they really understand this, they're going to continue to repeat this process. They're going to continue to repeat the process. I want to take one moment to acknowledge my brother Champion Hart earlier, who sent a $10 super chat Salute to Champion Heart, who says salute to Sensei Stormybman and brothers and sisters in the chat. If Canelo is not fighting Benavidez, I won't watch him ever again. The BS has to stop. Absolutely, my brother. Absolutely. And I'm sorry that I took a moment to read your super chat, Champion Heart. It's just that I was cooking on what I had to say. But just know that you're appreciated with your message.
Yeah, Stormy, they don't like people like Bill. They no. Bill's got his son. He like we talk about Devin, ain't never been in trouble. Good square kid, ain't never been to see. Now Devin came from that type of background. If he came from a gang culture, grew up fighting, always in trouble, the camera would be on Devin 24/7.
Absolutely.
24/7, and they know that if Bill was okay and all those things and was cool with his son being in gangs, and they found out if Bill was probably in a gang, whatever, they love that story. They have Bill on everybody's camera, everybody's show platform, him and his son, talking about the times in Oakland, how they grew up in this gang culture. They would have them everywhere doing world tours. But since they don't come from that type of background, Bill raised his son as a young man to be a man, to do things fair in life. And listen, if they had something bad on Bill, I'm quite sure it would have came out by now.
Oh, yeah.
So that just goes to show you, my man is square dealing, and they don't like that. And this is a black man who's raising another black man in the sport of boxing that we all know is corrupt. We all know it's corrupt. And it's funny that you touched on Heyman and Arum, because even our people bought into that crap of, Don King, the boogeyman, Don King. And I'm saying to myself, well, hell, if Don King if he did do these things, all he did was do what them other cats was doing that was doing before he came along. What the hell you think them Italian mobsters was doing before he came along?
Right.
Where's y'all hatred for them at? Why y'all hate Don King so much? You think Bob Arum wasn't robbing fighters? But all of a sudden, Bob Arum, the man and all that shit, they miss me with that.
Ain't
you
that
think
something?
Bob Arum... Yeah, you think Bob Arum wasn't robbing Terrence Crawford and all these other guys? Why you think everybody got the hell up away from him? Mayweather, De La Hoya. Why you think they got the hell up away from him? But y'all want to talk down on the Don King. Listen, I ain't saying that Don King perfect, but hell, don't sit here and tell me that them dudes is perfect.
Yeah.
You see the greatness in Wilder. You see him knocking everybody out that stepping his way. Eddie Hearn comes along with this Joshua bullshit, a fight that should have happened 5 years ago at least. 5 years ago. That fight should have happened at least. When Deontay was saying one name, one belt, division, whatever. That fight should have happened. Eddie Hearn comes in. He wants to manufacture a damn heavyweight champion over there in the UK.
Yep.
Because that's all Anthony Joshua is. He ain't nothing but a manufactured champion. That's all he is. See, Deontay Wilder was born to fight. He was born to fight. He was born to do this. Anthony Joshua wasn't born to do this shit. And another thing I want to touch on, like you said, how guys are shelved who should be receiving title shots. It's funny how Anthony Joshua wanted to fight a Francis Ngannou when there's other guys right now who's been waiting in line.
That's what I've been saying. I've been saying that so much that I even have fallen out of breath saying it.
Like, you got guys who've been fighting their ass off, waiting in line to get these title shots or these big name shots to get in line with a title shot, and you got this clown fighting a guy who 0-1, who came from another sport, combat sport. Like, this shit shouldn't even be going on.
Yep.
I mean, look, people getting sick of this. People getting tired. You got all these good fights, the fights that should be getting made, and then you got these idiots that's holding them up for whatever reason.
Yep.
For whatever reason. You got three-headed monsters, Shakur, Tank, Haney. Why these guys ain't fight one another?
Yeah, you feel me? That's what I be talking about, man. I be saying it all the time. It's like it's time to get beyond this foolishness and get back into, talking about things of substance. Because I'm not falling for the okie doke, bro. Not falling for it.
And also, Stormy, I want to hear your thoughts on Frank and Tank. Do you think Frank is ready?
We'll have to find out. It's a situation. I didn't like the energy for both guys at the press conference yesterday. Tank was being who he is, but Frank Martin should have an axe to grind. He should be like, but I can't have the type of feeling for these guys that they need to have for themselves. I'm an older person. I am from a different era and a cloth of understanding how these things traditionally were done. He may very well go in there and unleash some fury on Tank. I don't know, but
the energy kind of threw you off from both fighters.
Yeah, it's gonna have to reveal itself. It's gonna, that's one of those situations that, but I know it's time for Tank to get kicked in his behind. I know that, but will it happen? Who knows? Who knows?
Okay, because I don't know if you saw Frank Martin last fight. I wasn't too keen on his last fight. I felt like he needed, to work on a few more things myself.
Well, that guy he fought turned out to be a lot better than people thought he was. That's all that was. But see,
okay, because I never heard of the guy before.
Right, but this is the thing. That's why these guys need to fight people. It's like if you're sitting around, if everybody that you face on paper is, you're favored, that's not a challenge to you. If you're going into a fight where on paper it's looking 50-50, that looks like it can be a challenge. But if you're going into a fight where people are looking at you and saying, I don't know if you can do this, man, that's the kind of fight we want to see. Because it's going to either bring out the best in you or you won't be able to rise to the occasion.
Right. And also, you said earlier that, the last time Canelo had a 50-50 fight, you said Triple G. And I would say, if you think about it, Stormy, they never had Canelo in the 50-50 fight. Even with the Mayweather fight, they had Canelo as the favorite. And I'm wondering, like, huh? And when he fought Triple G the first time, he got some pushback. I heard some people saying, hey, I like Triple G in this fight. I like Triple G. But I think, a large majority were still rooting for Canelo.
Yeah. Yeah. we're in a situation where, again, like for example, Terrence Crawford has this fight coming up, and this guy he's getting ready to face is a strong puncher and everything, and that's good because the guy can knock Terrence's head off now, and no doubt about this. He can knock Terrence's head off. Terrence should be favored because of his experience and his ability to box and this and that, blah, blah, blah. But what I like is it's a challenge for Terrence. And it's an opportunity for him to, again, rise to an occasion and prevail because of what the threat is or the perceived threat is. I don't want to see him just in there beating guys that everybody know he can beat and stuff like that. I want to see, but there's too much of this stuff where these men of today aren't challenging themselves.
Right.
Do you realize that Frank Martin is Frank Martin the first black fighter that Tank is fighting?
I think so. I think Tank. I don't know when the last black person. He fought all Mexicans.
It's like
the last at least
that's
5, 6
kind of like
fights.
weird, isn't it?
He's on his Mexican tour, I guess. I can't recall the last black person.
When it comes down to stuff like that, it's like, man, come on. Are you kidding me?
Right. Because you would think, as the term says, Mexican style, wouldn't you want to fight other styles? Like, I'm 46. I grew up, I was born in 78. I grew up in the 80s and 90s. And I played basketball. Basketball was my thing. And I played basketball in my neighborhood until I was like 15, 16 years old. And I realized, like, listen, I'm not going to get no better until I leave my neighborhood and go to different parks.
Right.
And play with other guys in the city because I want to challenge myself. And that was a lot of our, people's age at that time, or at that time, that was our thought process. Let's challenge ourselves. So when I got old enough to drive, I would drive around to different parks and play with different guys just to see different styles and, see how good these guys were. I wanted to match my skill versus their skill.
Right.
And if I was less than, I would go back to the lab, train, do what I got to do to bring my skill up and come back and do it again. And if I notice I got better and I'm better than these guys, then I'll move on. But it's like now these guys have gotten so comfortable, and I don't know if it's I don't want to blame one person, but it kind of seems that way. The Mayweather, I call it the Mayweather effect. Mayweather never lost. So now everybody, making it a big deal about having, their zero removed. The greatest fighters, some of the greatest fighters of all time got losses.
Listen, that thing that you just said about basketball, I got a little story. When I was, I don't know how old I was at the time, maybe 10 or 11 years old. We used to have this little grade school gym that we could play ball at, after hours. They opened their gym up and you could play.
Yep.
And used to go up there in the evening sometime and play ball. And there was this little kid that played with us, from the neighborhood. And, I don't know exactly where he lived because I didn't know the guy, but I would see him when we go play ball. Now, we at the gym playing ball and whatnot, this and that, having a good time. And he was same age, but he was built a little different. He kind of had some muscles and stuff. And remember I said we was like 10 or 11 years old. And we used to play ball. My thing was I had a nice little jump shot. And I I had nice little drives to the basket. I could make these little moves. But this guy, he was really focused in on dribbling the ball. Dribbling. He used to do this little move and, bounce the ball real hard, and he cut this way and this and that. He couldn't shoot too good, but, I noticed the kid, I was like, and he was like really into it, So I played recreationally. I, didn't think I was going to be a star or anything, but
right.
He used to play with us, and as I grew older, stopped going there to play ball and I moved away, met new friends or whatever. Years later, this dude turns up in the NBA, and I'm looking at him and I'm like, wait a minute.
Don't say Bugsy Balls.
I'm like, wait a minute. I know this dude, right? Guess who it was?
Okay. NBA, I might be able to guess him because I'm a big NBA fan. I love basketball. What team and what year is this around, you think?
The team he was on was the Miami Heat.
Miami Heat. Tim Hardaway.
Yep. Tim Hardaway. I didn't even know. It was like, now, Tim, when we were little boys playing up at this school, I didn't know that he would go on and be in the NBA, just like you just don't know these. But it's funny because the way he played as a man, he played the same way as a little kid. But it was funny to me because I guess that was his dream, that was what he wanted to do. And I ain't hating on it or nothing. It's just that it's funny how you can go and be like, someone make it and do some things. It's like, whoa. That's just like I went to high school with Curtis Blades, the MMA fighter's dad. And his dad is a senior. He's a junior. It's like I went to school with Curtis. Now, Curtis played basketball on our high school basketball team. But now his son is in the MMA fighting. You just don't know these things would happen. It's like, it's tripped out, man. But I mention that because it's like life is funny that what life has for you is for you, and to be able to understand that, take it, hold fast to it, is very important. It's very important. But, I just thought I would share that little story. But look here, man, this has been a great call. I appreciate you calling. Please don't be a stranger. Call again. But I'm going to have to wrap things up because I've been on a little bit beyond my normal time here. So I got to shake it out and
absolutely.
go have me some lunch.
Are you guys going to be on tonight? Because I usually catch you in the Truth on Sundays evenings.
We're supposed to be on. We're supposed to be on this evening, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'll check you guys out tonight as well.
All right, bro. I appreciate you, man.
Man, it was good talking to you, Storm. I needed them gems, man. Dropped on me, man. I learn every time I listen into you, man. You drop a gem. Well, you drop gems on me, man. So that's why I check you out, man. I love sitting at the elders' feet, man, and getting them gems, man. So people like you can pass them down to me, and I can take them and pass them down to the next generation, man.
Yeah. That's great, man. So just keep checking us out, and we'll keep giving something back, because that's the whole point of it. Is there's a reciprocity through all of this, and it's why we get motivated to do what we do, especially when we get the support from the people. That's important.
For sure,
having support.
Sure.
So,
man, I support you guys, man, 100%, man. Y'all doing a good job, man. Please keep doing it, man. I call y'all new media because the old media, well, you already know how the old media is, man, but we need in the new media, man. So please keep doing what y'all brothers do, man.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, bro. So you take care, man. Appreciate you now.
You too.
All right. Peace.
All right. Peace.
All right. Great call to wrap up the show. Now, see, we ended up extending the show because we got a good call come in later in the show, and that's what it's all about. Now, we almost 300 views on today's show, and not even 100 likes, man. You guys, stop embarrassing me, huh? Stop embarrassing me with your foolishness, huh? But we're going to get ready to get on up out of here. But before we do, got to hear from my brother, the Focus Ball.
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improved footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mitt work, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a Focus Ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a Focus Ball. When you train with the Focus Ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit, making this very simple device a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the Focus Ball now.
So, get you some of that Stormybman merchandise, man. Like we had a purchase a little earlier. Eric Jordan purchased one of those Stormybman glossy mugs. I hope you enjoy it when it arrives. Eric Jordan, thank you for your support. And special thanks to the brother Daryl Alexander out there who gifted another 10 memberships for the channel. Nobody's been doing it like he has, and it's boosted Stormy well over 50 members to the channel. So thank you so much for that type of support there, Daryl Alexander. Look forward to communicating with you because I wanted to, speak to you. I asked you to send me an email. But for others who have participated in today's chat, some new faces, and come back, Come back and show some support and devotion to the quality of content that we produce on this channel. This is a weekly show, the call in, and we do our best. You know what I mean? There will be talking points that you don't necessarily agree with, but overall, it's great to have conversation, because conversation rules our nations. Yeah! So, with that being said, we're going to get on up out of here. I hope the rest of you enjoy your Sunday as you go forward, and for the week ahead, blessings to you. Shout out to the mighty LDBC, and we'll catch you guys next Sunday for another Answering the Bell.
What do you think of me, girls?
As good as any white man.